Church is so excited to serve as a partner for Children's Environmental Health Day. Green the Church is a sustainability initiative working to create a cadre of Black church communities committed to green theology, promoting sustainable practices, and building power for political and economic change. Our mission is to explore and expand the role of churches as centers for environmental and economic resilience. As the environmental organization for the Black Church, we work to empower church leadership and lay people to develop practical solutions to economic and environmental issues in the Black community. We invite you to connect with us at greenthechurch.org to learn more about our work and how you can get involved. This Children's Environmental Health Day, I'd like to introduce Reverend Lynne Herron, Senior Pastor of New Creation Church of Arden in Arden Arcade, California. Reverend Herron will share some personal reflections as she's had to deal with several families in her congregation impacted by childhood cancer.
Thank you, Kim. I'm excited and honored to be here this morning. I would like to start by just giving insight on where my church is located. New Creation Church is located in the West Arden Arcade area in Sacramento, California. It has been identified as an environmentally challenged community, or otherwise called environmental injustice community. It is a community that has been disproportionately affected by the lack of environmental protection and care. We have one of the highest numbers of childhood illnesses, such as cancer, diabetes, asthma, hypertension, mental illness, premature birth, also premature death rates, and other diseases in our community as well as in my church. The statistics we received states that these childhood issues and illnesses are due to the overexposure to a high number of waste sites, air pollution, automotive exhaust, mold, roast infested homes, pesticide exposure, unclean water, and just an environmental pollution due to a high percentage of homelessness that live in the Arden Arcade area. I'd like to just take just a moment, a brief moment, to just speak on how the lack of environmental justice have affected many of the church family members that attend New Creation Church. The two families in particularly that I really love very much, one calls me auntie and the other one calls me grandma, even though we are not blood related. I have two 3-year-old toddlers in my congregation that have been diagnosed with cancer. Their families were both informed that the children had cancer at the age of 1. One of the children has cancer in his kidney, and he has had to have his kidney removed, as well as he's also gone through a bout of cancer chemo for about 6 to 7 months. The beautiful blessing about his story is his kidney cancer is now in remission. And he is absolutely a happy and rambunctious 3-year-old little boy. But I do wonder if the environment is better, if he would have had to gone through that. I believe that his cancer being in remission has a lot to do with the faith of his family, as well as the prayers and the support of his church family. And his family has since moved out of the Arden Arcade area, which I believe has given his little body a rest from the constant exposure to the pollution, and that his body may be able to heal properly now. However, the other toddler that is in our church has been diagnosed with brain cancer, and he suffers from multiple seizures at a time. At the age of 2, he had surgery to remove tumors off the front lobe of his brain. During this time of COVID-19, he's had to be air flighted to San Francisco's Children's Hospital, where he endured numerous surgeries. He was there for about 3 to 4 months. He is now home within these last few weeks with his family. However, he went from being a healthy, vibrant, busy, rambunctious, and self-sufficient toddler to not being able to walk or crawl anymore. He's unable to communicate clearly with words. He has a breathing tube now surgically placed in his throat so that he does not stop breathing at night. And he is pretty lethargic most of the time. And although his parents are still very much a part of our church and very much a part of our family, they have recently just moved out of the West Arden Arcade area, and I am so excited about that. And my prayer is that his little body will receive the break it needs from the constant exposure of the pollution in our community so that his body can heal properly. Genesis 1:26 and 28, God tells Adam and Eve to be fruitful and multiply and fill the earth and subdue it and have dominion over all the fish of the sea and every living thing that moves on the earth. I realized that God not only gave them the commandment and the responsibility to have dominion to subdue the creatures, but also he gave them the responsibility to have dominion and subdue the earth. And I believe that God is giving us, the church, that same commandment and responsibility today. I believe that God expects the church to be concerned about the things that concerns him. And what concerns him is that his environment here on earth is safe and healthy for his creatures to live on. That it is a safe and healthy place for his children to be able to grow and thrive. God created the earth to provide what we need to sustain us. And when we neglect it, it does the opposite, and it hurts us in many ways, such as childhood cancer and other diseases. We as the church must be concerned about the condition of God's creation. These are just a couple of the stories that I'm sharing with you on this morning, as I have many more of how the lack of the environmental justice has affected my church family and my community. My earnest prayer is that we as believers, we as the church, will take care of the environment, the gift that God has entrusted to us, so that we no longer have to share stories like this of stories of babies having to fight to beat childhood cancer and other diseases. My ploy would be that we be good stewards, the faith community, over the gift that God has entrusted to us.